525,600 minutes, 525,000 moments so dear, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year? In daylights, in sunsets, in midnights, in cups of coffee, in inches, in miles, in laughter, in strife, in 525,600 minutes. How do you measure a year in the life? How about love? How about love? How about love? Measuring love. Seasons of love. Seasons of love. 525,600 minutes, 525,000 journeys to plan, 525,600 minutes. How do you measure the life of a woman or a man?
In truth that she learned, on times that he cried, in bridges he burned, for the way that she died.
Though the story never ends, let's celebrate, remember a year in the life of friends. Remember that love. You've got to remember. Remember that love. You know that love is a gift from above. Measure your life in love. Seasons of
Don't trip and you're good to go.
No tripping. And the mic's on? Yep, I can hear me. That's no surprise, eh, guys? Okay, so the good news is I'm not singing. Not after that, that's for sure. Okay, welcome everyone. As you just witnessed, this evening is to be a beautiful celebration of a short life well lived. To achieve something this amazing, it takes the efforts and love of many, many wonderful people. The love and support you have shown to us has helped carry us through this last year and a half. You know who you are? We will never be able to thank you enough. I don't even know if I can open this. Not by it. My mouth is very dry, so here we go. Samantha Ashley McLelland, born February 3rd, 1989. What a glorious day that was. There were fireworks over Science North that night, and as I told Sam, those were for her. There was no disputing the fact that something special had happened that day. Samantha completed our little family perfectly. Billy and I were so blessed to already have our son, CJ, and now we had our little girl. Growing up, Samantha filled our home with laughter, song, and a little sass. We loved her for that. She earned her nickname Sassy Samantha. She never hesitated to defend what she believed in, to be right, or to speak her mind. As Samantha got older and started living on her own, we made every effort to visit her as often as we could, beginning living in North Bay to go to theatre school and ending up in Toronto. Samantha's time here with us was fleeting, but it was fun-filled and action-packed. Boy, some of the times we've all had with her. Samantha could take us all on the best adventures, and experience them through her beautiful blue eyes could leave you breathless. Sam was like that spectacular sunset that you can never recreate on a camera lens, or that beautiful color that you just can't put a name to because you've never seen it before. Sam was a feeling you felt deep in your heart and your soul. Her giggle was pure joy. We knew we wanted to be around her, and now we know why. She was magic. She was a gift. Samantha taught us all very much about ourselves, our capabilities. She taught us about pure love, true friendship, and about acceptance. She did all this with an abundance of patience, understanding, and true grace. Samantha was my biggest cheerleader, as she was for all of you. When she was in your corner, or give you one of her little pep talks, you knew you could conquer any challenge you were about to face. I fought for her because she believed I could. As we sit here tonight, still wondering how we even got here, trying to make sense of the nonsensical, we must remember all the positivity that that beautiful soul brought to our lives, and try each day to share even a fraction of that with someone else. This world needs more Sam. Let that be our mission. Peace and love to you all. Now let's celebrate Sam.
Wow, this is way easier when the room is empty. Sam and I used to get together at college when she was working at the gymnasium in our little gene factory of a theater campus. And she and I would just pass the hours away jamming sappy tunes, because that's the stuff she loved. As evidenced by the opening tune, which is awesome, by the way. That was great. So here's another sappy tune. So, sorry ahead of time, and you're welcome.
those three words are said too much. They're not enough. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world? Forget where it's all before we get too old. Show me a garden that's bursting into life. Let's waste time chasing cars around our heads. I need your grace to remind me to find my own. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world? Forget where it's all before we get too old. Show me a garden that's bursting into life. All that I am, all that I ever was, is here in your perfect eyes. They're all I can say. I don't know how, no, confused about where as well. Just know that these things will never change for us at all. If I lay here, if I just lay here, would you lie with me and just forget the world?
Hi, I'm Tessa Balaz, and I'm one of the very many people in this room who loved Sam so much. We all know that Sam loved concerts, so this is very fitting. A monthly conversation with Sam would consist of something like, do you want to go see insert artist here? And I'd be like, yeah, totally. And then about 10 minutes later, she'd be like, hey, you owe me $387. Cool. So I learned my lesson over a period of time as to how frequently I would say yes, or how frequently I would say, I'll actually sit with you at the concert or not. I'll get my nosebleed ticket and we'll feel each other from afar, you know? And that's just who she was. She was a gatherer of people. And as I said, you can see all of that tonight. So that brings me to this amazing dress I'm wearing. Thank you. When Alessandro was doing the musical Prom Queen in Montreal, Sam said, we should go to Montreal and see Prom Queen. And I was like, of course. And she was like, we should fly. And I was like, I was very much a starving artist, so okay, sure, let's fly. So we take the 1-hour flight to Montreal. Janie meets up with us and she's like, I can't believe you flew. And I was like, I'm here with Sam. Of course we flew. So it was an amazing time, and we were shopping and we were shop hopping, and we came across this vintage store with all these beautiful, authentic pieces. And this dress was one of them. And I was like, wow, this dress. And she's like, you gotta try it on. Try it on, baby. So I was like, okay, I'll try it on. Didn't look at the price tag, I'll just try it on. And it's this beautiful vintage 1920s, authentic. It still has all its original beading. It's gorgeous. And I put it on and it fit me, thankfully. And she was like, you gotta have it. And I was like, Sam, I can't afford this. You know me, I'm an extremely starving artist right now. Oh, it's okay, baby, I'll just get it and you'll just pay me back. And I'm like, no, I don't know when I'll be able to pay you back for this. It's okay, take whatever time you need. And she was already pretty much headed to the cash register to buy it. And the sales lady was very happy, because how many pieces like this can you sell in a day? It took me a year to pay her back, but I did. And I think this is just a really wonderful example of how generous and kind she was. And she was just like, you just look too beautiful. So we're gonna sing Beautiful by Christina, because Christina was one of her favorites.
Trying hard to fill the air. Hi, I'm Jen. I'm the owner of Little Rebels. Oh. I feel like I should have paid Sam double because no matter where she went, she was always talking about it. And I feel like that's who she was for all of us. I feel like I know all of you. All of our families at Little Rebels felt like they knew Samantha. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Since Sam passed, I've been actually revisiting this poem by Mary Oliver called In Backwater Woods. And she writes, "To live in this world, you must be able to do 3 things. To love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes to let go, to let it go." I have loved Sam since our first meeting at Spirits because we didn't know each other, but I felt like I knew her. She served me and my friends and our castmates after a show, and I very quickly handed her my card, which was a little bit like I was hitting on her. But my wife was there, so it's cool. It's fine. I just knew. I think we all always already know. We all knew that Sam was supposed to be in our lives. I held her in my heart and in my thoughts and in my life for close to a decade. I knew I wanted as much time with her as possible. So it just made sense to invite her into Little Rebels. Her love of children and of music and of life in general made this decision one of the easiest of my life. The part of the poem, though, that I revisit again and again, and I have also found the hardest in all of this, is the letting go. I just don't know how any of us are supposed to let her go. So I've sort of decided that I'm just not going to. I'll see her twinkle in every Little Rebel's child's eyes. I will hear her voice in every Disney song, Broadway show tune, and Motown classic that we sing on repeat every day for years. I will feel her all around me in the changing of the seasons, because didn't she always like dress for the seasons? Like, it's fall, she's like, here's my orange and my red and my, like, she just, it's wintertime. We had like a winter party and she showed up in this like ice blue, like fur hat and dress. So I was like, wow, I was in track pants. I always left it to Sam to bring every color with her into every room she ever was. And I'll speak to her. I will speak to her. In my head, I will speak to her out loud. I will whisper, I will yell. And I know that the wind will carry it. I know the wind will carry it. I don't think I'm going to say anything that every single one of us doesn't already know or hasn't already said about our Samantha. But I think that this in itself is a testament of Samantha's unwavering continuity. She was the same person, no matter who she was with, no matter where she was. And this absolutely goes for our Little Rebels families as well. When we told our community what Sam was facing, and when we had to tell her of her, when we had to tell everyone of her passing, every single comment referenced her light and her brightness and her smile and her positivity and her beauty. Sam just showed up as her complete self every single day. Samantha got me through some of the darkest days of my life. With her constant support and her encouragement and her love, Sam got through mothers, through the darkest days of postpartum. With her voice and her energy, Sam got our community through the early days of the pandemic, running online classes from Toronto and then from Sudbury. And so I did want to share a few words from our community. Back in Toronto, a mother writes, "My daughter and I did Little Rebels with Samantha in the fall of 2019, and she was a bright light. My daughter would just stare at her. When the pandemic hit, we did Little Rebels with Samantha online until my mat leave ended, and she certainly helped me get through those early days. I will always remember her." Another parent writes, "Samantha was a lifeline for me. In the early days of the pandemic, when we moved from in-person to screens, I think our time with her then was as much for me as it was for the kids. I took such comfort in her singing, dancing, and great, beautiful smile." These are just 2 comments. Every comment was like that. Every message was like that. People that didn't even know her would write to us, saying she must have been the brightest light. And she was. She is. Everything I wanted Little Rebels to be, Sam made possible. Samantha helped me create a community we all wish we had when we were growing up. She helped create a place where families could come together in song and in play and in support of one another. She created a place that energized grown-ups to move through the rest of their day with hop in their step, which is hard in Toronto. She created a place where everyone felt valued, seen, loved, and taken care of. Samantha did all of that. She made our company. She made it what it is. She lived her best life. And in turn, she made it possible for us to live ours. And her legacy is what we will carry forward with everything Little Rebels does, with everything I do, and with everything we are. Grief has no distance, but neither does love. And so I'll walk with both grief and love, but mostly love, remembering you out loud forever. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name's Kelsie, and I was McSam's first vocal director here at YES Theatre. Just quickly, a show of hands, how many people here have absolutely no idea why some of us call her McSam? Hands up if you're like, what the what? Okay, so I'll give you just a really quick rundown. In the cast of Hair, there were 2 Samanthas, and we could never keep them straight. We tried one Sam, the other Samantha, but then we'd always forget which one was supposed to be Sam, which one was supposed to be Samantha. So then we tried last names, but Balensky and McLelland didn't really run off the tongue very easily. So then we tried Sam Mick, also not cool, and we ended up with Mick Sam. And it kind of stuck because now there's also a Mick Jake and a Mick Jeff. But Mick Sam, she's the OG. She's the original one. We cast Mick Sam as the role of Sheila Franklin. And it just so happens that my very first musical, a million years ago, I played the role of Sheila Franklin. So we really bonded over that. We would talk about character, how to approach the songs, how we felt about other characters in the show. And there was something else, and I wasn't even going to say this, but when Bev said Mick Sam was always in people's corners, Well, I was actually in cancer treatment at the time that we were doing hair. And she just, the intuition, I'm a pretty good actress. And I would come to rehearsal being like, I'm good today, I'm no problem. She always knew when I wasn't. And it would be an extra long hug, walking by me and just giving me a squeeze, or just a little smile if I caught her eye. She just always knew, always knew. So McSam back then was a little nervous. It was her first big musical. And she'd say, Casey, you gotta be here every night. I gotta see you, I gotta feel you. And I said, well, no, McSam, I don't wanna be here every night. Sorry, I can't do that. So we decided that maybe having something of mine here with her would be okay. Well, it ended up that every single thing that she wore on stage as her costumes came from my closet. And thanks to Bev and family, tonight I am wearing something from McSam's closet. So the very first song that Sheila Franklin sings in the show is called I Believe in Love. And I mean, let's think about McSam. She was like this sphere of love, just embraced by a physical being. I mean, she just radiated love everywhere she went. And closing night of hair, she gave me a couple gifts, but this one in particular, she painted herself, and it says, I believe in love on it. And she wrote a beautiful note to me on the back. And just in case anybody ever wondered, does she really, like, is she okay being called McSam? She ended it with, I love you, McSam. So while the rest of the gang comes to join me, I will say this. From one Sheila Franklin to the other Sheila Franklin, I believe in love.
The time for all good men to believe in love. I believe that now is the time for all good men to come to the end of
My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty. God save, here we go.
Hi guys, I'm Andrea. Sam and I went to Canadore together. She was the first person that I met for my program. We were both wandering the halls and making our way to the gymnasium where we were about to meet our program coordinator. And we were instant friends. She was my best friend. Throughout all that craziness that was theater school. And as everybody said, I mean, she was a gatherer of people, and you can see that now that even in death, she has brought so many people together, even people that aren't sadly able to be here today. I know that they're either watching or going to be watching this later, because they loved her too. And I loved her very much. And she was a beautiful starshine. We all know that. I don't know, I guess sometimes when people pass away, there's no reason. And you look for a reason. it doesn't make sense, but to me, I've tried to cope with this and believe that it's because she was too great for this place, and that she's gone somewhere that is deserving of her bright light. So I've had a song in my head for weeks, months now. So I thought we'd share it with you today. One of my favorite memories with Sam is when we lived in North Bay. I used to pick her up in my truck and bring her to the lake, and we would go watch lightning storms on Nipissing. And I'd make her listen to all the bullshit music I like to listen to that she probably really wasn't interested in. And I'm gonna sing her a song that she probably never heard before too. So this is Sammy King, and he's gonna accompany me. About the things never do. Yeah, so I'll blow out the candle and I'll put you to bed. 'Cause you can't say to me now how the dog broke your bone. There's just one thing left to be said. Say hello to heaven, to heaven, to heaven. Say hello to heaven, to heaven, to heaven. Say hello to heaven, to heaven. Yeah. Say hello to heaven, to heaven, to
Hey everyone. Hello, hello. How can I begin to find the words, the perfect words, to summon the essence of this remarkable woman? Earlier this week, I was away on a trip meeting with an author of a children's book that I'm hoping to bring to life on stage in the future. And this book is deeply beautiful and profoundly poetic. And in my conversations with the author, I asked him how exactly he came to find the glorious words in his book, the very sparse and simple and perfect words. And then I asked him what it feels like to get those words right, to find those perfect words. And he said to me that the difference between the perfect words and the almost perfect words is comparable to the difference between lightning and a lightning bug. And I thought that was a really brilliant way of explaining what it is to really nail finding the perfect words, or to get to the center of something, or to have something feel perfect instead of almost perfect. It feels like lightning in your soul. And then I was thinking of our darling, beautiful friend, and this sentiment seemed completely applicable to her existence. Because being loved by her was lightning. Standing on stage with her, sitting next to her in a car, snuggling her on a Ferris wheel, holding her hand, experiencing her laugh, the glimmer in her eyes, hugging her. It was lightning. It was perfect, bright, life-affirming lightning. Because being with Samantha felt like always having the perfect words. She made any day absolutely perfect. It's important for me to take a moment to recognize that we're standing on the stage where we performed Hair together, surrounded by so many of the people who were part of the birth of YES Theatre and our family here. And the original intention of the company was to bring together young people regardless of their experiences and any borders for a brilliant theatrical experience. And as we all know, she lived without borders very much. And she went on to almost single-handedly set the culture of the organization, the foundation, the pillars, the community-driven values that are the bedrock of our work. And I've said before, McSam was the original pulse. And I may not have known it then, but she was the manifestation of everything I believed in. And there is no human being alive that was more in support of the collective dreams of all of her friends. She held our dreams in her hands and she blew them like fairy dust to take flight. She was the first to get tickets, to share something online, to stand and scream and applaud. And she was a fierce and gifted actor that we were all very, very fortunate to share the stage with. And I don't quite know how to fathom this great loss, but I do know that when I hold the hands of these people on stage, or when I hug Bev or Billy or CJ, or when we all make music together on the Samantha McLelland stage next summer at the Refectorio. That's right. Or when we see the sun, or when it's Christmas time, or when Tafari laughs super beautifully and loudly. Or when we hear any artist that ever lived because she saw them in concert. Or when we share a meal, or we're touched by a gentle breeze. Or when the moon is out. Or when we hold each other that her lightning will strike again and again and again and again. I'd like to now share a small snippet of a song from a new musical that I love, that I also saw when I was away this week. It's from a show called Kimberly Kimbo. And at its core, it's about living brightly and boldly in the short time that we're given. We're on a great adventure. Don't know what we're gonna find when we leave what's behind, but you are by my side. At last, a great adventure. Don't know where the road will bend or when we're gonna reach the end, so just enjoy the ride. Because no one gets a second time around. Day is dying. We're headed for the setting sun. We're crying because we're almost done. Time's flying. It's been a bumpy ride and so fine, so fine. What a great adventure. Didn't know the paths we take, the suns we see, the friends we make, and you, my partner in crime. I'll miss your great adventure. We never know, and nor do I, when we will have to say goodbye. So just enjoy the time, because no one gets a second time. No one gets a second time. No one gets a second time around. Now, before I go to the next thing, I want to do something even more stagey. I'd like to finish, before I invite Tafari up to sing, to share the words from Jonathan Larson's Rent. In the scene where the group of friends are grieving the loss of Angel, who was the heartbeat and the glue of their friendship, Maureen steps forward and she says, "You always said how lucky you were that we were all friends. But it was us, baby. We were the lucky ones."
Cover you, yeah. Open your door, I'll be your tenant. Don't got much baggage to lay at your feet, but sweet kisses I've got to spare. I'll be there and I'll cover you. Oh, I think that they meant it when they said you can't buy love. Now I know you can rent it. Ain't you least you are my love on life. Oh, my life. I've longed to discover something as true as can be. If you're cold and you're lonely, you got one nickel only. When your heart has expired, oh, lover, I'll love you. I'll cover you.
525,600 minutes. 525,000 seasons.
I'll cover you.
Now something upbeat. Look at the moon.
Good morning, starshine. Yours says hello. You twinkle above us. We twinkle below. Good morning, starshine. You lead us along, my love, and be as we sing our early morning singing song. Little love will be nearly loving you, be la 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 lo lo. Saba sibi saba nubi abanaba lili lo lo. Tubi ubi wala nubi abanaba early morning singing song. Good morning, starshine. Yours says hello. You twinkle above us. We twinkle below. Good morning, starshine. You lead us along, my love and me, as we sing our early morning singing song. Little love will be nearly loving you, be la 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 lo lo. Saba sibi saba nubi abanaba lili lo lo. Tubi ubi wala nubi abanaba early morning singing song. Singing a song, loving a song, singing a song. Loving a song, loving a song, singing a song. Sing a song, song a sing, song, 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 sing, 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 song. Song, 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 sing, 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 song. Early morning singing song.
Yeah, we love it. What? Move the mics now, right? Okay. What am I doing? I don't remember what the hell I'm doing. Okay, he's gonna go over here. One, two. He's gonna go upstage.
It's gonna lasso your feet.
Yeah, this is exactly the part where I fall down.
Okay, my love, you can. Let me move that for you. Get all that out of your way.
Well, it's a tough act to follow, to the point where I'm like slightly considering breaking into song, but for everyone's benefit, I will not do that. So my name is Leah. I went to Marymount with Sam what feels like 8 billion years ago, because it was 8 billion years ago. So in my quest to better understand myself and better understand others, I've read many books and many articles, listened to podcasts, and at some point in this journey, I came across a quote that suggested that people could be divided into two categories. How convenient for me in my search. Those who walk into a room and say, "Here I am," and those who walk into a room and say, "There you are." I know there are folks here thinking and knowing that Sam was stepping into audition rooms, she was stepping onto the court, up to the microphone or to center stage, saying wholeheartedly and joyfully, "Here I am." And to that I say, you are absolutely right. Her belief in herself led her to the spotlight that she so deserved. And yet, it was also about sharing that light with everyone around her. Being authentically herself and relentless in pursuit of what brought her the most happiness was a gift that she gave to everyone around her. And being herself and choosing her joy, she gave us all the encouragement and inspiration we may have been needing to do the same. To bet on ourselves, to take the audition, to wear the outfit, to fall in love, to sing the song, to live our best life, whatever that meant for us. Some Here I Am people are boastful and selfish and there to center themselves. But Sam always knew there was enough sun for everyone. She was there to show you how joyful being yourself could be and what it would attract to your life. She was there to pull you on stage with her. All this to say, I know that oftentimes, most times actually, two things can be true at once. And as I have reflected on this friendship, I know all the while she was standing center stage and inspiring our lives by saying, "Here I am," that she never for a moment stopped looking to me and saying, "There you are." Feeling seen may be the ultimate gift. And fortunately for me, Sam's specialty. She arrived in my life right at that preteen moment where you don't know who you are or where you're going or how you got here. And for that matter, Sam may not have known who she was or where she was going or how she got here either. But she made sure that I knew wherever she was heading next, there was a place for me. We settled comfortably into a friendship that could have easily become complacent or taken for granted. But that just wasn't Sam. Every time I was with her, there was nowhere else she would rather be. Her blue eyes so wide, intently listening and seeing you. There were moments where I would think, how do you even remember all of these things? Like, why do you know the names of my cousins? Or like where I worked for 3 months that one time? Or why do you still have and use this weird handmade gift I gave you when I was 12? Throw that out. She happily signed into these contracts of friendship, determined to change the Earth's orbit, placing you firmly at the center, making you feel valued in a way that was so profound and genuine that it's in my marrow. She made me feel this way in life's big moments and in the small ones, where I would open the fridge to see she bought the kind of eggnog I like. For some, minor. But for me, the love is in those small details. They make up the big picture. Sam's people filled her cup, and I was lucky enough to be one of them. As Bev mentioned, Sam's magic was all her own, unique as her fingerprint. Yet I know that so much of who she was and how she lived and how deeply she loved was always wrapped up in CJ, Bev, and Billy. Sam's friendship was one of the great gifts of my lifetime. And lucky for me, the McLellans came as a package deal. You watched us grow up, make mistakes, take big swings, and also throw cookie dough all over the first floor of your house that one time. Sorry about that. Having you in the wings of my life all these years is like winning the lottery I hadn't realized I'd entered. The story of Sam and I is incomplete without you. For everything that's already been and everything that's to come, I'm so grateful to you and for you. On my last earthly visit with Sam, I stood at the foot of her bed and her eyes met mine. And just for a second, she focused in and she smiled at me, just as she had for the last 21 years and as I expected her to do for at least 21 more. Instead, there we were, suspended in a moment so unbelievable and strange, yet familiar. Familiar because I had been there a million times before, in a room with my friend, as she looked to me to say, "There you are."
We love you. We love you.